Hey everyone, wanted to give you a brief little overview of the Tableau user interface, how you import data into it, and also just how you in general work with Tableau. So Tableau is a business intelligence package, and it's one of the most commonly used out there. Some other common business intelligence packages include stuff like Microsoft Power BI, is certainly a big one. There's several others as well. Salesforce has some packages like this. In fact, Salesforce owns Tableau now. So that's certainly an interesting change. But apart from that, people would potentially argue that stuff like Microsoft Excel is a business intelligence package. I don't necessarily know that's something I would say, but that's a common argument that you hear. So in general, from the home screen of Tableau, you can select what you're wanting to use. You can use Microsoft Excel files, you can use PDFs, you can use all sorts of options here. You can see all the different Tableau workbooks, CSV files, of course, all these different things you can bring in and use. You can also connect to various servers that you have. But for this, I'm going to go ahead and stick with the world indicators here. So essentially, I'm going to create a new worksheet so it's nice and clean. Looking at the world indicators, you can sort of see information about the data source by double-clicking on it. You can see all the different columns that are there. You can certainly see all that information. And then what you can do is you can create new worksheets, you can create new dashboards, and you can create new stories down here in the bottom. For now, let's go ahead and create a new worksheet. I'm just going to click on the new worksheet button. It's going to take me to sheet 3. I can name this anything I want. I'm going to call it test. And essentially, what we have here is in the left toolbar, we have a list of all the fields that we can work with. So you'll notice that some of them have an ABC icon and they're sort of blue, whereas some of them have a hashtag symbol or a pound sign, depending on how old you are, and they're green. The ones that have the hashtag there, those are numeric values. Okay, so the ones that have text, those are grouping values. They're not numeric. You can't do calculations based off of them, but they are still important to be able to use. So with that in mind, you could take any of these measures and you can drag them to anywhere that you want. Okay, so you can see I just put down country region. So it has, by default, just little dots there for all the different country and regions. But then you can take any of these measures that you want. So maybe I wanted to take CO2 emissions, and I could put it into my map as well. I can do this, really take any of these values that I want, put them into columns. I can see it that way, put them into rows. I just encourage you to play around with that and to go through all of the files that we have. Certainly, you can select different visualization types, and you can sort of see the CO2 emissions by country this way. You've got some different color codes. You can, of course, adjust that. You could change the measure type from sum to average. That might give you a little bit better of a measure in some cases. You can, of course, also change the colors. You can edit them. You can select whichever color scheme you want. Okay, perhaps you want it to go from green to red, which there's definitely some downsides to that. We don't necessarily get into that too much in this class, but there's colorblind issues with that. There's also cultural issues with that. But that said, in the Western culture, we know that red is bad and we know that green is good. Okay, so we can certainly find something that's going to look like that if that's the color scheme that we chose. We could perhaps use orange here. Lots of different options that we have. So in essence, that's going to be getting you started with Tableau. I think that ultimately you can select different visualization types. You can use heat maps, for example. You can use highlighting tables. And whenever you mouse over these, they will tell you what they're looking for down here. So they'll tell you they're looking for dimensions or they're looking for measures. And of course, dimensions are the fields that have text. Measures are the numeric fields. So maybe you're 1 shy, and you can just add that in that you're shy. Okay. So it'll tell you what you're shy. Like, see here for this particular one, it says requires at least 3 fields. We only have 2. So that's just kind of getting you started with Tableau. Hope that's helpful. Also hope you have a great rest of your day.